Okay, we are recording. Welcome,
All right.
everybody. Take it away, Brenda.
Okay, so I'll start over. So today we're going to be going over a couple different things you're going to want to have in front of you. You're going to want your launch guide, and if you don't have an actual launch guide, you can go to doterra.com, and under Wellness Advocates, you can go to Wellness Advocates and then Empowered Success, and you'll find the launch guide. You'll also find the rank planner that is for Premier and Silvers under that. And then one thing I didn't mention on the text is the success check-in. And this is going to be found at the same place under, if you go to Empowered Success and scroll all the way down to the bottom to the tools library, you're going to find the success check-in in there. So we're going to go over a few of those. But we're going to go ahead and get started. And then at the end, Crystal's going to kind of lay out her part, so we're really excited. So we're going to wrap up this whole Practicing series. Expectations set, because I really like what Tanya said last week about really having that, it's really attracting, not finding, because we're not hunting them down. So I really loved that. So one thing I want to just kind of open up first before we do a recap and then go into new information is I'm just going to be really vulnerable with you for a minute, kind of talk about my journey, because I was thinking about this because I think sometimes we get frustrated where we are and we can't always see like the next step, and that actually really holds us back. So when I started, I hit Elite, I think in the month I started, and within 2 months hit Premier and then Silver, and it was fast. I worked hard. I enrolled. I mean, I think the 1 month I had like 12 enrollments. I was #1 enroller for Crystal. And so I hit it, and then I kind of got stuck at Silver. And I actually kind of had that kind of found myself like, well, Silver's good. Like, that's considered a leader, and like, that's a good place to be. And I didn't really like, I guess my mindset was kind of like, well, I'll get there eventually, but in my mind, I didn't totally see past that. And so the other day, Jeremy was like, what has happened to you? Like, something has shifted. And I said, 2 months ago, I started calling myself a diamond. And he was like, your business is changing and how you're operating is different. And I think a lot of it is because I've started to see myself as a diamond, and I've begun to treat my business like I'm a diamond. And you have to see yourself past where you are in your business. So I want to challenge you if you are feeling stuck. Now it's Silver, but I honestly can tell you that I'm going to hit diamond because like, I believe it. And we did a bold prayer at church, like about, I don't know, was it 3 weeks ago? And that was what Jeremy and I were both like, this is happening. And we've, so we've prayed about it, but then there's work, I'm having to put in work. So obviously we can pray about it, but if I don't change anything in what I'm doing, then I won't move in my business. But I wanted to encourage you, if you see yourself as a diamond, start calling yourself that. Start seeing that. It doesn't mean that in your back office it might show the next week or even the next month. But I just wanted to encourage you, because when you start walking out of that place, you leave that lack behind and you really start operating in a more confident level. And so I just wanted to be vulnerable and just kind of let you know the journey that for me. And even Crystal said, it was like a month, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago, she's like, you're ready. And I was like, I know. Like, it was a whole different I know than before. It was like, I know, like, we're going to do this. And I think a lot of it has to do with where I had to get that mindset and really have that shift. So I just wanted to encourage you in that before we move on. So, and you are the CEO of your business. So you own your own business. And so you guys can take this to the next level. You guys are all business owners. So I really want you to see yourself with that hat that you are the CEO. I'm sorry, I feel like it's really bright behind me, but it's actually sunny here. So Okay, so a couple things I wanted to recap before we move on is the 7 characteristics of a diamond. And I want to just go over that because I think it's really critical that if we haven't had the chance or taken the time yet to do some of the things that we went over, I'm going to encourage you either like today or tomorrow to set time on your calendar to actually go through these, because all of these processes that we've gone through with Crystal and with Melissa and with Tanya were actually really critical for the foundation for what we're building on for attracting builders. So those 7 characteristics, I'm just going to go over them. Women, although we have men, and men are leaders in this business and successful, but this is just statistically what they've found in doTERRA. They have to have a money need. Ages 30 to 45 is kind of the characteristics into a natural lifestyle, influential, supportive spouse, and they are entrepreneurial, have done business. So one of the things is that Crystal assigned to us was going over 100 contacts and ranking them based on these characteristics. So if you haven't done that, I really encourage you to do that by the end of the day tomorrow. You're really going to want that list for some of the things that we're going to move forward with. So highly, highly recommend that that's done. And then we talked with Melissa, which I thought this was so awesome. And if you haven't gone through that CTFAR, where it's the circumstances can trigger the thoughts, which cause feelings, which cause actions, which cause results. And, you know, we went over that exercise with Melissa, and I think all of you did it. Courtney, Ann, Raider, and Alexis all went through one thought. Susan, I don't think you were on that call. But if you haven't had time to go through more thoughts, you know, more of those thoughts and circumstances, I'd like you to take some time to do that, because I think that we stop ourselves from so many things from what we're thinking and what we perceive as like, this is real, like I'm stuck here or no one's going to listen. And I think that opening your eyes, being opened up to that is really important. And so has anyone gone through any more thoughts with that process that Melissa taught us? Just curious. Okay, so that'll be something that we can do.
I think everyone's muted, so
oh, okay.
Maybe at the end they can share if they want to. Yeah,
okay,
be thinking about that.
Yeah, be thinking about those things, because these are things that do build, and this is not something that like you just do it once and then like everything's fine. Like you're gonna find, you know, maybe 2 months down the road, it's a whole different negative thought we have to deal with, or, you know, something else. So this is an exercise that I like put in my notebook that was like, I want to go back to this and remember this. So when those things come up, I have tools to really, you know, help train myself how to think differently. So I thought that was really cool. And then I really loved Tanya's call last week. We talked about, are you capable and committed? And I know every single one of you are capable, because you guys have all enrolled someone. You've all talked to people. So every single one of you on this call are capable. So then the question really is, are you committed? And I loved what she said when she said they have to be inspired by my commitment. So the question is, are they inspired by your commitment? And so I really want you to look at that and think about that, and just, you know, be honest with yourself. And it's something that you have to tell any of us, but are they? And really think and be honest, because I think a lot of times these questions can open up for us to really have that opportunity to grow and become a lot better. So the 5 questions: where's my commitment? Where's my courage? Where's my confidence? Where's my connection? And where is my complaining? And so all of those were things that I, you know, went through and ranked and noticed the areas like, okay, I have to work on that area. So we're never like, we've never arrived. So I want you to really go through those and really rank yourself and see those areas that maybe they're not as high as you want them to be. And, you know, how can you work on that to tweak that? And if you are like, okay, I don't have the confidence, you know, talk to one of us. We can help you to show you all the things that you're so good at and to build up that confidence. Don't feel like you have to do it alone either. So that's just kind of a recap of what we did before. And so we're going to move on to a couple things now. So we're going to go to the rank planner. So do you guys all have the rank planner in front of you? So I think most of you on here are actually have all hit elite. So you would actually all really be appropriate to fill out this sheet, which is the Premier. So I like to do this by the 5th of the month at the latest. So I know what my next month is what that month is going to look like. The goal is really like the 1st or 2nd, but you know, really by the 5th, you really want to have this rank sheet done. So when we're going to talk about doing it for Premier, and then this one, you're able to also do it to Silver. So I love this sheet because what this does is it shows you where you're maybe weak in your business, where volume is needed to really help you to plan for how to hit that rank that you're shooting for. So I like this. Now I'm a numbers person, so you might be like, I hate doing this. But this is really good because this is actually really kind of like a self-accountability sheet for you. Because when you see it, you're like, ooh, I need like 3 classes on that leg. But then that helps you to identify, okay, that's where I need to work on. So I like this because it helps you identify where you need to work in your business. So when you pull out this rank sheet, you can do this actually on it. You can fill it out on the computer now. So I love that. Like you don't even have to print it out. You can type it in and then it's nice and neat. So if you guys would prefer like the neat, type, some people like handwritten, whatever. But I also, a lot of times I like to do it with a pencil because things can change. So you're going to identify your builders. Now on the builders, your builders for Premier are builders that you have personally enrolled. So you want to focus on personally enrolled leaders. They don't have to be on your front line. So they could maybe be one down, but they have to be someone that you have personally enrolled. Okay, so you're going to find your personally enrolled builders and you're going to put them as your builder 1, builder 2, builder 3 if you have 3 of them. And then you're going to, set up your goal. If you're going for Premier, it's going to be a $2,000 PV goal. If you're going for Silver, it's going to be 3 legs at 3,000. Okay. So then from there, you're going to go into your back office and you want to make sure on the back office that you have their LRP date and their LRP PV as columns that are set up to view. If you don't have that in your detailed genealogy, please let me know and I will make sure to help you to get that set up. So once you do that, you're going to go through and you're going to add up all the volume on those legs and you're going to put that here as required volume, or that's going to be on the currently scheduled LRP. So your required volume is going to be 2,000 for Premier. You're going to put your LRP and then you're going to put what's still needed. So that's like, so say that you need 2,000 and you have, I don't know, let's say 800 in scheduled LRPs, you still need 1,200 PV. So this average says 1,000 for a class. I typically do 500 because that way, if the average is more, that's great. It's just extra volume. So if you have 1,200 and it's 500 per class, you're going to need 3 classes on that leg to be able to hit, for them to be able to hit that 2,000. And so this will begin to open up for you to see where you need volume, and then you can, show the classes that you're scheduled. You can mark down your one-on-ones, and this will go really well with the success check-in that we're going to talk about a little bit later as well. So this is something that you want to hand in to your enroller or the person that is, helping you. So you want to hand that in to that person so they know how to help you as well. And they can, maybe see, okay, you need more volume here. What about doing this month? So this is a really great tool and something that if you're not in the habit of doing it, we're October 1st today. So this is a great time to talk about this because we're going to look at October. And so I want you to set your goals high. And so this is something to definitely print out today if you haven't, and get this filled out. And we'll take questions at the end. So if you have any rank planner questions, write them down and we'll talk about that at the end. Crystal, anything you want to add to that?
No, that sounds good. Does anyone have questions though? Because I know we've gone over this before and it can kind of tend to be confusing for newer people. So please, if you have questions about the rank planner, we can go through it again. Just, we want to make sure you really understand it.
I would love to hear like the quick rundown again of what you need your detailed genealogy to say, like what columns you need.
Yeah. So I always have the name. So like I have their name, I have their ID, and I think their phone number or something. And then I typically have their last 3 months volume and then their current volume. And then it's their LRP scheduled date and their LRP PV. So those are the two that are really important for filling out your rank planner, because the LRP PV is going to show you the order PV that's in their cart for the month of October. Typically on the 1st, most of them haven't processed yet, so it's going to be scheduled. Now, say that someone processed it today, then I would look at what actually processed, not just what their scheduled PV is. But you want to look at scheduled PV and have that date. I do the LRP scheduled date right next to it, just so I can make sure it's set for August or October or whatever month. It's October. October. Does that make sense, Courtney?
Yes, and then I don't know why I always struggle with this. Do you include your builder and then everyone underneath?
Yes.
Okay.
Good question. And what was I going to just say? I don't know. Oh, when you do in the detailed genealogy, you can add those columns, and then I save it as the default. So when I pull my detailed genealogy back up, it's always that same report. So once you kind of monkey with it, the first time to get it how you want it and get the order of your columns, then save it. And that way when you go back in, it's going to always look the same. Every once in a while, I don't know what doTERRA does, and then the name disappears and I have to go back in and I'll rebuild it, and then you just save it. It happens twice.
I feel like I've done that, like set the default before and then it's not there. So maybe it just is something.
Well, make sure you save it, and then I think you update the report and then save it as the default.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions on the rank planner? Okay. All right. So now we are going to go into the lead guide, and we're going to look at page 7. And Crystal, do you want to talk more about this?
Well, if you want to go down what it is, I'm happy to help fill in though.
Okay.
Anything that
All right.
you in the launch guide? Yeah, launch guide.
Yeah,
You said lead guide.
I'm in the launch guide. I did say lead guide. Launch guide.
Okay.
Sorry. Okay, so I'm in the launch guide and I'm on page 7. And we did go over all of this at the leadership retreat we did. We went through this launch guide. I know we went through a lot of different things there, but I love this guide. I do want to just mention the success is scheduled. This is a really cool and really important, that scheduling, but we're going to go to the success tracker. So, and this is where we're going to really work a lot out of this month. So, what the goal is for the month of October is for you to completely fill out this tracker. So this is 45 contacts, and you are going to have all of your prospects, 45, not all of them, but 45 of your prospects. What I would recommend is that you actually go back to the 100 name list where you ranked with from week 1. So you're going to take, go to that 100 name list, and you're going to want to take the top 45 that rank the highest, and you're going to bring them over to the success tracker. So we're going to start with this. And then if you look at the columns, your first one says 45. These are your goals. 45 sharing and inviting. So you're going to share and you're going to invite them to basically a presentation, if that's a class or a one-on-one. And then the goal is that you're going to present to 30. So you're going to do the presentation to 30 of those 45. So they are, you know, really actually seeing the statistics of how many it takes to invite to actually be able to present. So these are actually, you know, statistically what the numbers look like. And then out of those 30 that you present, we're assuming that you're going to enroll 15. Okay? And if you enroll 15, how many lifestyle overviews are you going to do? 15. Because we want to do the lifestyle overview to everyone that you enroll. And then out of that lifestyle overview, the numbers are showing that you're going to do a business overview with 3 of them. So 3+. So that's statistically, you know, what that's going to look like. Now, I wanted to break this down for you because that can seem like a lot of people. But I want to encourage you that if in 4 weeks you contact 45 people, that is contacting 11.25 people a week. So that is like 11 people for 3 weeks and 12 1 week. That is 2.25 people a day. So like just over like 2 people, and maybe 1 or 2 days you're going to contact 3 people. That's maybe 20 minutes a day contacting people. So that's doable. So 45 can be like, oh my goodness, but that's so doable when you break it down to how many you're going to need to contact in a week and how many you're going to need to, you know, contact and actually, you know, do. Then when you're looking at presenting, so that if you're doing 30, obviously if you're doing 30 one-on-ones, that's going to take more time than if you're doing a class that you have 6, 7 people. Then you might be doing, you know, 4 classes or 5 classes. But what I would do is, you know, sit down and break it down to where it's in chunks, that you're time blocking in your calendar, and then you're looking at, okay, if I am sharing and inviting this, then what does that look like? How can I break that down so it's doable? Because we don't want it to be October 30th and you're like, oh crap, I've only talked to 3 people this month. So this is like the perfect time to look at your month, plan it out, and figure out, okay, if I'm going to present to 30 people, when do I really actually need to be sharing and inviting? How do I get this on my calendar so that it's doable? And success is scheduled. And I find that the weeks that I don't schedule it, I just don't do as well. I'm not enrolling like I normally do because I haven't scheduled it. I haven't scheduled that really devoted business time. And I want us to really, so this looks kind of overwhelming, but if we go back to pages 2 and 3 of the launch guide, it's all about pipes. So when we follow the system of presenting, it's prepare and invite, present, enroll, and support. This is what we are doing over and over and over and over. And so I don't want you to overcomplicate the system. I don't want you to try to fancy it up. If you are inviting and you're presenting and you're enrolling and you're supporting, builders are going to come out of that process. So they just will. If, you know, we obviously have to ask, we have to be willing to say, hey, I think you'd be really good at this. I would love to talk to you about it. I actually had a girl that I met 2 weeks ago, and I was like, she would be so good. And so I talked with her and I said, okay, we need to talk because I think you'd be really good at what I do. And she had just tried the oils and loved them. And she signed up to do, like, she was an advocate, signed up to do the business, is super excited and is ready to go. And she just had samples. But I had to open my mouth. I had to say, I think we need to talk because I think it'd be really good. And she was counting down the days to hear about it and had done research on doTERRA and has been looking up, you know, different videos. So I want to encourage you, when you open up your mouth, there are people that are ready and they are waiting for you because they're looking for something. and you have what it takes. You're completely capable to lead someone else, and you're plugging them into the system that's already here. And that's what I love. This launch guide helps you go through the whole process. It gives you, between this and the share guide, you have a lot of verbiage, and I really want you to hook into that. But I do want to go back to the success tracker, because this is where Crystal's kind of go from here.
Okay, are we ready then?
Yes.
Awesome. All right. So we really want you to put these things into practice, like Brenda has said. And this is just a good example of what that could look like. Like she said, it doesn't have to be overwhelming. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be hard work, but it is simple and it is straightforward. And what we really hope to bring out of this is duplication. That if you can prove to yourself you can actually do this, then you can teach someone else to do it. So it says up here at the top, if you have 15 enrollments with a 200 PV average, then you'll have elite. And that's what this is trying to teach people, to become elite and then to create elites. And we know that you don't always get 200 PV, but you will have some natural solutions kits, and then you'll have some family essentials kits. And if you're having a problem where you're like, really, I only ever get people to sign up with a $35 membership and 2 oils, then we need to talk about that and just help you tweak it a little bit. These are things that we can help you with. It's not something to be embarrassed about or ashamed of or whatever, because we've all been there. But we know that when we talk about the kits and show them the value and show them the savings and how this is going to actually serve their family the best, it's all about their needs and what's going to actually be the best value for them. Just like getting on LRP, we want them to get their own points and have their own free products versus ordering through us. And so these are just little things that we can continue to work on and teach you. But you can just see that this is scheduled with some one-on-one, some classes. This will be different for different people. But the point is, like you see at the bottom, if you schedule 3 classes, 15 one-on-ones, or a combination, setting aside the time to invest in your business, and then ask yourself these questions to make your list under number 3 down there at the bottom, you're going to be expanding your influence. And the kind of upside down pyramid or almost tree version of this looks like, for your prepare section, you're inviting 45 people. You get down to invite. You're preparing by making a list first, then you're actually inviting. You're presenting to at least 30 people. That's going to be your goal in October for this challenge that we're introducing now. And then you'll enroll 15. But Brenda and I understand that even if you present to 30 people in October, you might not get them all enrolled in October. That's just kind of the reality. You might be enrolling some of those in November. And then from there, you're going to do 15 lifestyle overviews. So every single person, even if it's over the phone or however you have to meet with them to do their lifestyle overview, every enrollee gets a lifestyle overview, and you're bringing up, at least asking them to look at the business. You're bringing that up. You're introducing that concept. You should be doing that from your first presentation with them, just touching on it. Then in the lifestyle overview, talking about it a little more, asking who do they know that they could share with. Do they want to have a class? Do they want to give you referrals? Or do they want to consider making commission and doing this as a business with you? And then 3 builders or potential builders come out of that. So if you look at the success tracker again, you have 3 or more business overviews that should come out of that. And if you're following what we've taught through this 4-week series with recruiting and attracting builders, you will find this to be true. The numbers will start to line up like this. And we really want you to have the focus of launching a new person by the end of November. So if you are sharing and inviting with 45 people in October, presenting to 30 people in October, whether through classes or one-on-ones, enrolling 15 people between October and November, so you have both months for those enrollments to come in, but you really need to do the 45 and 30 in October. And then 15 lifestyle overviews will also be split between October and November. Potentially some of those could go into December. If you're getting your last of those 15 enrollments toward the end of November, you might not be doing the lifestyle overviews until December. So that's fine. And then your business overviews, though, those 3+ business overviews, or maybe even a business overview class or meeting, should happen before the end of November. And then you should have someone, at least one person, ready to launch their business, a committed, capable person who's really launching with at least 4 classes scheduled on the books. That's what I consider a committed, capable person launching. Doesn't mean you won't have some sharers who maybe just want to have one class. That's great. But a truly committed and capable builder who's got at least 4 classes and planning ahead for trainings and more classes and all of the things that a builder would do by the end of November. So this should be something that you can do and then can duplicate. And it's going to seem a little overwhelming, especially if you're newer, especially if you've never done this system. But this is what we want you to start duplicating and start to believe that you can do and see that you can do, starting with making a names list of at least 45 people. I would say 100 people, because you'll be going through your list and you want these to be good potential prospects. Some of them might already use doTERRA, some might not be interested, whatever, but inviting potentially 45 good people, because you'll also have those people who are good potential prospects. Some of them just won't show up. They'll have to cancel, they'll have to reschedule. So if you're really going to get 30 people that you're in front of, inviting 45 and not just putting out a Facebook invitation to 45 people, that's not effective. I actually recommend not even inviting people to a Facebook event until you've talked to them personally, because people just ignore those things on social media a lot. And they say, oh, I've been invited to another thing, and I'm one of 570 people who are invited. That's not an effective way. We want the invitations to be personal. So we've talked about some of that. Some good verbiage is in the share guide for how to talk to people, how to invite. Look for something that they can connect to personally. I know you've struggled with, winter illnesses, and that's right around the corner. I can help you with this season not to have to deal with those in the ways you've had to in the past, or to boost your immune system, whatever it is that they've dealt with. Inviting them in a personal way, connecting it to them personally, and then having even 45 RSVPs would be smart, because then you have that assurance that probably 30 people will actually show up and not reschedule or not be able to come to those classes. So enrolling 15 people between 2 months shouldn't seem too daunting. Now, maybe you've never done that much before, but really if you're presenting to 30 people, that's going to come. The 15 plus, that's going to come. So really just focus on your part right now, making your list and inviting, getting things scheduled, getting classes on the books, getting times set aside in your schedule when you can do one-on-ones, so that you have places to plug those things in for October. And then in November, you'll continue just following up, doing more classes, doing lifestyle overviews and those business overviews. And that's our goal, is to see you guys all launch at least one new, really strong, committed, capable builder by the end of November. Do you want to add anything to that, Brenda, before I talk about the prizes?
Oh, I think we just have to talk about prizes.
Okay.
Because I think they're all going to be really excited.
Okay, awesome. Well, I'm trying to remember what you ended up deciding to do. I was looking at my phone really quick. Oh, you were going to, okay, I remember.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so what I'm going to do, because I know this isn't easy, and I know that it needs to be really rewarding, and I want to make the stakes really high for you. I want this to be huge, and I know you're all motivated by different things, but you all are doing this business to help people, and you hope to create a viable income, a sustainable income to support your family and your futures. And I want to make that a little bit sweeter. So when you're doing this, you're going to get a lot of fast start. You're going to start to see that you've got the structure for your 50, your 250, maybe even your 1500 power of 3. You're going to get a lot of compensation from doTERRA for that, but I want to make it even a little bit sweeter. And anyone who actually does this, the 45, 30, 15, 15, 3, and getting a launch for one new builder at least scheduled, you're going to get a $500 bonus from me. And that should really help you out with your Christmas coming right around the corner, because that'll be end of November is when this is ending. By the end of October, we're going to kind of see who's on track for this, because you'll see if you've got your 45 and 30 done and you're on your way to your next steps of completing the 15, 15, 3, 1 in November. But a $500 bonus from me plus $100 in oils from Brenda. That is what you're going for this challenge.
You get to pick the oils from me. So it'll be $100 of your choice. So if you're like, there's those oils I want. So we really wanted to make it like exciting.
Yeah. Yes. So I hope you're excited by that. This should help you really get the incentive you need and the drive you need, and just want to dangle that carrot, because I know it's coming to that time of year when we all have Christmas shopping and things we want to give to and things we want to do with our families or whatever it might be. And we really want you to feel like it's worthwhile, because sometimes I know too in this stage, when it's just mainly Fast Start you're focusing on, it doesn't always feel like a lot in the moment. Although if you're enrolling 15 people, you will start to see those Fast Start checks growing and growing. So that's going to be the real reward, is the growth in your business. But I've been kind of saving this, waiting until we finish the series, that I could offer something big to all of you to move forward. And I feel like you're ready. And that's kind of what I've been watching for too. And I saw it at convention. I've seen it in Brenda. I've just seen this group is coming together and you're really ready to move forward in a big way. So I want to just give you that, offer you that reward. And Brenda wanted to offer you some oils as well. We all have those oils we go through fast, or that we've saved up for and really just talk ourselves out of buying because we need that lavender and lemon all the time, or whatever it is. So this will be exciting. It'll be really fun. And we want you to also, and I should pull it up. Let me see if I can grab it really quick. We want you to do the success tracker, and I'll see if I can pull it up.
As she's pulling that up. So if you have 15 enrollments at $200 enrollments each, that is a Fast Start of $600. So between the $600 Fast Start and the $500 cash and $100 in oils, that ups it to like $1,200, which is pretty sweet. So, and you're growing your business and taking it to the next level. And so like ultimately you win either way, because your business grows a lot, but it does make it a lot sweeter when there's more. So this is the success check-in. Do you have it?
I'm trying to find it on the Empowered Success. I don't remember.
If you go to Empowered Success and scroll to the very bottom to where it says Tools Library.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then you click on there, and then I think it's in there. It
Okay.
looks like this.
Okay. Yeah, we want you guys to do this check-in. This is going to help us know who's on track for this, because we got a budget for it, for one thing. But also it's going to help us to help you, because if you send this in, we can see where maybe you're struggling, where you need some help so that you can stay on track. We want all of you to actually earn this, and we want to make it accessible for everyone to be able to just check in with both of us. So it could be by email, it could be by text, but we really want you to take advantage of this and fill this out. And you can find it, like she said, you just scroll down, Tools, Library, PDFs on Empowered Success. Let me actually just share my, is that it? There we go. All right, that should show, right? Does that show it? So
Yeah.
Empowered Success Library. All right, where is it? There's a rank.
It's under Launch Tools, that third one down.
Okay, there it is. Thank you. And then this will be something you can download, and you can fill it out in your Acrobat Reader, or just fill it out by hand and take a picture of it, or whatever works for you. So you're going to be celebrating and evaluating, focusing on your wins and victories. What's working? What do I want to be working better? We really want to cut to the chase on this. This is a strategy check-in. It's for your mentors, which for this session will be Brenda and me both. We both want to see these, and to just offer you some ideas to support you where you're at, where you want to be. Those kind of things won't change much, but the things under the pipes will. So how many names have you added to your list? That should be done pretty quickly. How many of you sampled or invited to a class? How many have attended? How many enrollments? So every week, these numbers should be changing as you're moving toward completing this challenge. And then underneath, looking at where there are gaps, what are the vital action steps you need to do next? What's your part? And what can your upline do to support you? So this is going to help us just work together toward you finishing this. But it gives you the responsibility where Brenda and I shouldn't have to check on you. We're here for you, but we're not going to chase you down, right? Nobody wants to be dragged along, and we don't want to drag anyone along. So if you're doing this and taking responsibility, we want to see it by Monday morning. So every week we can go, okay, who's still in this, and where are they at this week, and how can we help them make this week even better, or just more successful, or just help keep them on track and offer encouragement. and support to keep everybody on track for the upcoming week. So if you complete it by, Sunday night and send it to us for the upcoming week, we can look at it and offer support via email or text, or if we need to, we can schedule phone calls, but to talk about some things that we see might need to be talked about. But for the most part, we can probably do this electronically and not take too much time away from anyone's schedules, because this will require you probably putting in, 10 hours a week at a minimum, because you're probably going to do 1 or 2 classes a week. And then you've got your training and your other things that we talked about, maybe doing like a Zoom check-in, but we really just want you to focus on the activity. We've done a lot of talking about recruiting and about activity over the last few months with different Zoom things. And this is going to be a season where we're just going to kind of hunker down and hone our skills and focus on working on income producing activities. So we just thought this would be the easiest way that would take the least amount of time, but we can still offer that feedback as needed.
And I want to also just let you know now, Thanksgiving is coming. It's on the calendar every November. And so prepare for that. So if okay, I'm hosting Thanksgiving and that whole week I'm busy preparing, then your calendar needs to reflect that and needs to reflect the activity before and after it to be able to finish the challenge. So, the same Christmas, every year in December, we have Christmas. I like to take that last 2 weeks off. So I plan most of my December activity between the 1st and the 15th. So, this challenge is not in December, it's October, November, but you're going to have to look at November now and really plan for that, because this is going to take a lot of scheduling and intention. So Crystal and I know that this is it's hard. It's hard work. But, to be a diamond, it's a lot of pressure. Like diamonds, natural diamonds, they are diamonds because of the pressure that they have undergone, under the earth. And so it's the same when we're building a business to a diamond. You all are capable of it and you all have it in you. And so this is just really creating those habits and those, really scheduling that success. So, but just remember, look at, if you have a lot of birthdays or whatever, make sure you're scheduling around that. So it's really, really helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. So we would love to hear anything you have feedback-wise about the exercise with Melissa, any of Tanya's stuff, anything we've talked about, and really too, just your kind of gut reaction on this, because we really want you to be honest with how are you feeling? Is this, it should feel hard, but doable, because we've broken it down into the simple steps. It's not, again, going to be easy, but I think it's really doable, especially spread out over 2 months, because trying to squeeze it all into October, I just realized is not realistic. And it's not that often that anyone has 15 enrollments in a month. So our top enroller for September had 18, and then the next closest one was 9. So I understand that. Pushing yourself to get 7 or 8 in a month should feel doable though. And if you spread that out and you get 8 in October and 7 in November, you've got your 15. So that shouldn't feel as overwhelming, I hope, and I do hope it feels doable. But tell us how you're feeling. We don't want anyone shutting down and being like, this is not even possible for me because of whatever. Let's talk about that if that's what you're thinking. And I know we're at 2:45, so if you got to go, we totally understand. You've heard the main announcements, but if there's anybody that wants to talk through any of it, we're available to do that for a few minutes.
Are they all muted?
Yeah, I think they can unmute themselves, though, is here.
Raider, you have to unmute yourself.
Let me unmute him.
Okay,
There he goes. I unmuted him.
Hear me?
Yeah.
I just want to say, thank you very much for this. I feel like especially with the holidays coming, I guess we're all probably feeling crunched. The economy hasn't turned around all the way yet. So I think this is really doable, especially, splitting up in small segments. I think that makes it totally easy to at least follow through every day. And then, it's all a numbers game, right? So you just one day at a time. And I think this is the push that I need, honestly.
Awesome. Glad to hear that.
Good.
I'm excited too. I'm going to have to jump off here to go get my kids, but just wanted to say that it seems totally doable. I like challenges. I like that, some goals are laid out so that it's a clear vision on what to accomplish. And I'm excited about doing it. I really appreciate you guys investing in us and setting this up. So I'm excited. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Alexis.
Thanks for being on.
Yeah, absolutely.
And hey, Crystal,
Yeah.
real quick, are we opening up to do we want to open this up to their builders, like that they have, that if they do the same thing, they can go for the same challenge?
I think we can open it up to anybody on your team who wants to participate. It's just going to be, don't overwhelm them. Okay. So if they just decided last week they want to do this, unless they're already scheduled and ready to go and have their names listed, I mean, you can offer it to anyone, but if it's a casual sharer, I'll just caution you, you could scare them off with this amount of activity. So just be aware of that, but feel free to offer it. Yeah.
Awesome. That's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure you were on board.
Yeah, make me pay.
Yeah, me too, right? Anyone else have any feedback, questions, or overwhelmed, or no?
No.
And you're like,
All right, then. Go for
I'll figure
it.
it out. Thank you, guys.
You're welcome. Go for it. Make it a great week. We wanted to do this today too because we didn't want to even wait one day. And just as a side note, there is that launch training tomorrow. So we didn't want you to have a whole day of Zooms and videos and stuff. So we wanted to do this October 1st, get it fresh in the new month. And tomorrow you do have the option to watch it live, but there is a launch camp that will be super, super helpful to break down all the steps to make this happen. It'll be even more inspiring and break down this 45, 30, 15, all of that for you, and break down all the steps. It's with Casey Baudry, our double diamond, and Justin Harrison, one of the original wellness advocates of the company. So it's going to be really great training. It's 11 to 1, or no, what is it, 9 to 12 their time, so 11 to 2 our time. And it will be recorded, and it's going to be right there on the Empowered Success page, live, but then also the recording will be there. So I really encourage you to take time to participate, send new builders to that for sure. Also, it's going to be really great.
And Casey had a challenge. I know you guys probably got that text. So if you had an enrollment the last 4 days of September, then you qualify to actually proceed with Casey's challenge. So Raider, I know that you said you were going to go for that, and there's options for more prizes as well. So, and probably some of it will actually overlap, which is super cool. So I'll get you connected with her Facebook group. It's called
Peaceful Heart Leadership.
Peaceful Heart Leadership. So Casey, I would encourage you guys to all, be part of her Facebook group as well. So she's training the launch program tomorrow through doTERRA, but then she's also having her own challenge. But one of the requirements was one enrollment between the 26th and the 30th. So Raider, congratulations for qualifying for that as well. Good job.
Good job.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so I think it is 2:50, so I know we went a little bit over. So just know we're here to help you. We're here to see you succeed. And we know you guys can do this. So we came up with something that was hard, but totally something that you guys could all do. So let us know how we can help you, and how we can support you in this journey. Anything
Absolutely.
else?
Awesome. All right, guys, go make it an amazing last quarter. This is it. And one last thing, if you love Rachel Hollis already, go ahead and participate in her last 90 days challenge. That's another thing that's going to complement this really, really well. So she's got it on her website. You can find it on her Facebook, but I'm kind of excited about it. It's pretty cool. So if you want to read her book and go along with her 90-day challenge, it's how to make the last 90 days of your year really count. And I think all of it ties in so beautifully together. So let's make it happen.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Thanks,
Talk to
guys.
you soon.
Sounds good.
Oh,
Thank
hey,
you.
Hey, I got the iToby for all of you. So excited.
Thank
Yay.
you.
Got it today, so now I can scan. So.
Yay.
Awesome. Enjoy it. Mine's not shipping until October 22nd. I'm kind of bummed about that. I
Yeah, I got
know.
mine.
You're getting yours before I get mine, and I've had it for years, but That's
They
okay. I'll
told
be
me
in
they were
Africa anyway, so.
They said they were sending all of the old, like the current customers first, and mine would come in November.
Yeah.
There we go.
Well,
Wow.
lucky you.
Yeah, I'm lucky.
Enjoy.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.